That was It's Not My Fault, and I love that song because it's never my fault. But it's time for Mystic Monday here on Hits 105.5, and so I've got JoElle Boroff with me. JoElle, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I want to talk about spirit guides. So we went on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that don't know what that means, it's essentially a meditation guided by a shaman, because it's a shamanic journey. And then they can find your spirit animal or your spirit guide. How does that work?
Okay. So typically when I help people find spirit guides, people want to know what their spirit guides are. They're animal guides. One, because, hey, it's cool. That's just the fact of it. But two, a lot of people are seeking something different with inside of themselves. So when people come to me and they're like, hey, can you help me find my spirit guide or my spirit animal? I feel like I'm close, but I don't know. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Because the spirit guides, they connect us to both the physical realm and the spiritual realm and are able to give us messages that we need for ourselves. So sometimes that like smack in the head that we give ourselves, like, oh, great, like this is what I needed to learn. So when I take people to find their spirit guides or animal guides, whatever you want to call them, I take them through a shamanic journey, which is me drumming. The beat of the drum is the beat of my heart. So it kind of helps to connect and it puts us in that trance-like state. So when I see a spirit guide or spirit animal, it's like in my face, the animal's right there. But usually when I guide people through the meditation work, I guide them to a certain point where they are safe, where they're connected. And then the animal comes out and whatever message or whatever animal it may be, or a person, because sometimes it's people, makes themselves known so that you can connect to it and learn what you need to.
Okay. And what's the purpose of knowing your spirit guide?
The purpose of knowing your spirit guide, spirit animal, spirit teacher, whatever it may be, is to help us in certain situations. So like if you're struggling of connection or if you're struggling to heal a certain thing, well, maybe a deer comes to you. The deers tell us that we are resilient, we're strong, that no matter what we do in this life, no matter what comes at us, we're always going to be able to shift our perspective and to essentially change how we see things and how we approach things. So the more you connect to those different types of animals, the more you're going to connect to pieces of yourself that you've been missing or that you haven't really been acknowledging quite yet. So for me, one of mine is a snake. Snake is about death. It's also about transformation in the life that we live. As a snake sheds its skin, it's relearning to live. It's relearning its environment. It's relearning moments, words, patterns, behaviors, all of those different things. So for me as medicine, it's taught me how to transform my self-limiting belief systems and how to shed away all of those old things that I no longer need in this life. So when we connect to spirit guides and spirit animals, they teach us what we already know, what we already have inside of us, the medicine that we have in us, so that we can heal and we can grow.
Okay. I think that's neat because I have a fox as my spirit animal or guide or whatever you want to call it. And the internet told me, this is where you get to tell me if I'm telling the truth, is the internet told me that the fox is often associated with the figure of the trickster, but as a spirit animal, it can also turn into a teacher providing guidance, simply finding your way around obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really neat because it can kind of help you understand your symbolism, I guess, of the fox or whatever your spirit animal guide is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like often, because when I experience animals for my clients or any of those different things, some animals I'm not familiar with if I haven't been approached by them before. So like using internet can be a guide to like, okay, well I seen a monkey in Peru, or whatever kind of monkey it is.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that yet. So yes, I'm going to encourage you to go look online and be like, hey, just kind of read, take it as it is, and connect with that guide, because the more you connect with that spirit guide, the more you're going to learn from it and the more you're going to realize the information that it's giving you and how it translates to what you're going through.
I think that's really neat, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess, what's my other questions about this? If anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a call at 498-1055, just because I'm not always the good at answering or asking questions, because I'm like, oh yeah, what about this? And so I think it's really important for me to ask you is when you said that you saw my spirit animal, you said it had a snake around it. Mm-hmm. So what's that mean?
So usually when I see, so spirit animals, spirit guides can be our souls outside of our body. Every person is born with an animal, depending on your belief system. But in my culture, we're born with different animals that walk beside us. They are our souls outside of our body. You nurture them. You take care of them. When they're sick, you're sick. When you're sick, they're sick, and so on and so forth. But it's also about how we translate the world and how we walk through it. So when we experience our animals being wrapped around other animals or interconnecting with other guides and stuff, sometimes, especially with the snake, that would mean that you're strangling yourself, that you're stopping yourself from fully experiencing what you need to with that specific animal. So as a snake coils, it's trying to help push things out because you're at a point where you're like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stop. So when other animals come into play, they are trying to encourage us to also be in those cycles of death, rebirth, reconstruction, and all of those different things. Because the fox also teaches us how to play. It tells us, like, hey, play for a little bit. Re-embrace that child self so that we can learn that not everything has to be taken so seriously. And we can be okay to enjoy life as it is.
Yeah. And so, can you have more than one spirit animal or guide?
Oh, yeah. You can have multiple. And just because you have one now doesn't mean you'll have that one forever. Spirit guides and spirit animals, they come and go and do their own thing. So after you've learned a lesson from one, maybe you'll get a bear the next time or, months down the road after you've already fixed that situation or handled it. So for me, I have 4 that I specifically work with, but those are more of like power animals and teachers and stuff. So they'll stay with me as I've kind of grown.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad because I want to keep my fox.
And he may stay there, or she.
Yeah.
They may stay with you, and you can always ask your spirit guides, like, hey, can you stay with me? I don't want to lose you. I like this relationship. And just nurture that relationship. When you connect with those animals, I always encourage my clients. Well, first, I give them a card that represents that, or I give them a stone figure or whatever I have. But I encourage people to connect to that animal, going out in nature, spending time with the spirit of that animal, because the more you connect to it, the stronger the connection's going to be, and the more wisdom that you're going to gain from that whole experience.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I dig that. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show and talking about spirit guides and animals today.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you next Monday.
Yes.
Are we going to do a Tarot Tuesday next Monday?
Yeah, we'll do Tarot Tuesday.
I don't know why I called
Tarot
it
Monday.
Tuesday. Tarot Monday.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Well, because it sounded good, I guess, in my head.
It's because I do Tarot Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
what
why.
it is, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do tarot cards next Monday. So if you want your cards read, feel free to give me a call and get lined up for that, or we'll accept calls next Monday around 2 p.m. If you need the number, it's 937-498-1055. And give us a call. We want to hear from you. And we want to know what your cards say. I can't be the only one getting my cards read. I don't always like that. I don't like being put on the spot.
Yeah, it can be real tricky.
Yes. All right, we'll be back with more BS in the afternoon. Coming up is your local weather and then the pun of the day.